Here we have Davarrio, 170. That's the brother with the white shorts, and he's sparring DARYL. DARYL is 270. So Davarrio was getting some heavy sparring here, giving up 100 pounds. When I watched this, I liked the fact that you could tell neither fighter was trying to hurt each other. That time, Davarrio was able to pivot, and then he got to a brand new angle, and he threw some straight shots. Even though Davarrio looks to be the shorter fighter, his arms, his limbs look relatively long. I see a little bit of stance switching going on. He's very light on his feet. He makes different angles with his feet. See that he likes to pivot out to safety. That time, instead of pivoting in the same direction, he actually pivot in the opposite direction. That's good as well. That time, DARYL was able to hit him with a nice jab. See, Davarrio, he pulls his head back. He's a very twitchy guy. But he fights with that low lead hand. When he gets to the ropes, he puts his hands up, though. That's good. He did a nice little feint before throwing that 1 and that 2 combination. Okay. See a little Jersey Joe Walcott, little foot shuffling. Davarrio has very unorthodox footwork, but as we all know, boxing is a game of chess. Sometimes showing somebody a different look. Now he's jumping up on those toes, man. Remember, Davarrio is 170 pounds. He looks to be a very compact guy, so for him to be that, muscular, he's pretty light on his feet. Once again, when he goes to the ropes, he puts those hands up. That's good. Way to dip under those shots. DARYL isn't really swinging heavy shots. Davarrio was able to jump in with that straight right and land it. Remember, DARYL is a big fella, DARYL really should put his hands up and try to walk Davarrio down as opposed to trying to meet him in a bout of outboxing. Because he's not going to be able to outbox Davarrio. Davarrio is too quick for him, and he's 100 pounds lighter. So DARYL's supposed to put those hands up and just try to walk this man down, hit him with some heavy shots here and there. That was good head movement by Davarrio, but he took his eyes off the opponent. That's something you're not taught to do, but if you're good enough, you can get away with it. Davarrio, he moves to the right and to the left. He doesn't just circle in one direction. He also doesn't just pivot in one direction. So that's good. That time he threw that 1-2, ducked under. So high-level boxing, you want to throw your punch and have your exit strategy already in mind. Davarrio has a tendency sometimes when he's ducking a punch to turn away from the opponent. That's something he has to work on. Light on his feet on the ropes. Oh, here we go. This time I think he's just working on shelling up. Maybe he's tired. That time he had his hands down while ducking shots. Hands on the ropes. He's playing around. Okay, he was able to land that right hand. He was able to land another right hand on DARYL. That time he set up the hook behind the right hand. Pivot to the right. Davarrio, he has no problem punching up. A fighter that was really great at punching up was Aaron Pryor. That time, DARYL was able to pop him with that jab. I think he landed it more than once as well. All right, DARYL trying to show some head movement, moving from side to side. Now DARYL coming in with shots from the hip. But you can see he's just working with him. I don't know why DARYL picked his leg up just now. That's why he got caught with that jab. Davarrio has to sit down on some of these shots. I mean, you're not going to hurt a dude with 100 pounds on you. Whenever I do heavy sparring, that's when I like to throw my power shots because, the big boys could take it. So we see Davarrio is a good outboxer, knows how to get on his toes, knows how to drop to different levels. He has to be careful about jumping in. When you do big sparring, you can get used to being able to do what you want because the guy is so much slower than you. But you still got to be cautious because in a real fight, you'll be fighting somebody your size, your speed, and most of the time, well, sometimes faster than you. I ain't going to say most of the time because there's different levels of athletes out there. That's one of Davarrio's main moves is the pivot away. He pivots to safety either to the right or to the left. So what DARYL's supposed to do, see Davarrio did the pivot again. DARYL is supposed to try to time the pivot and meet him with a hook. So if Davarrio's going to pivot to the right or to the left, you want to hook him while he's pivoting in that direction. You want to set that up. Nice little twitchy head movement from Davarrio. Now he's on the ropes. making Daryl miss. That was a rather slow shoulder roll, but how fast you got to move when you're up against somebody that's 270. These are all touch shots. Davarrio, he isn't really the biggest guy as far as height, but he likes to outbox. He likes to tap a dude and get to safety. That's his style. He's very athletic. He slung the punch behind his back first. That was pretty stylish. Then he came in with some combinations, pivoted. Now he got his hands up, going up against the giant. Now he's dropping to the lowest level. That time he dropped all the way to the lowest level, but he threw the hook upstairs. So that was very trickery. A little bit of chicanery there by Davarrio. Daryl was just touching him with the shots. Daryl, when Davarrio was laying on those ropes, Daryl should actually throw one or two big shots just to make the man Davarrio have to be more defensively responsible, because people aren't just going to work with you like that in a fight. So sparring is good to work with each other, but it's also good to throw that big one from time to time to keep a man honest, you know what I mean? Keep him respectful of the fact that you could hurt him, because that's how it's going to be in a real fight. Great stiff arm by Daryl, followed by the straight right hand. These guys getting in some good work, man. This is a big boy, man, 270, able to go rounds with a smaller athletic fighter. Very impressive. Okay, that time Daryl was able to land some nice little body shots. Davarrio came back upstairs. Okay, Davarrio got the angle. Y'all saw that? He took the step and got the angle. And he kept throwing 1-2s. After he finished throwing, he jumped back. He did it again. That time he threw the right hand and he jumps back. So he has that defense. Most of his defense thus far is pretty much athleticism. He'll pivot, to the right or to the left, or he'll just jump back. But him being a shorter fighter, I would like to see him bobbing and weaving, bending at the knee from time to time, instead of always fighting tall. Nothing wrong with fighting tall, but I think compact fighters, they got to mix it up. Now he's trying to work on that L guard, shoulder roll. Once again, Davarrio comes to the ropes. He put his hands up. Saw that 1-2 pivot. After he made the offensive move, he made the defensive move. Very good. Davarrio is a pretty athletic guy, man. Alrighty. Now, one thing that I noticed, right, when Daryl comes forward, Davarrio moves back. Davarrio should take that as an opportunity to work on his inside fighting. You know what I mean? Put those hands up. Meet him glove to glove, forehead to forehead, chest to chest, shoulder to shoulder. You know what I mean? You don't always want to be fighting and moving. You got to know how to fight stationary. You got to know how to fight in the pocket, inside fighting. You know what I like about Davarrio, though? Davarrio could throw punches while moving. An analogy, for example, good stiff arm right there to make space by Davarrio. But for example, Lamar Jackson could throw on the run. That's what makes him special. That's what makes him deadly. A lot of other quarterbacks, they have to set their feet. They're pocket passing quarterbacks. If their feet aren't set, they can't get throw off. You know what I mean? So Davarrio, he has a natural ability to be moving his feet and still throw a punch. A lot of boxers can't do that. For example, Ryan Garcia, before he throws a punch, he has to set his feet. You know what I mean? Rolly Romero has to set his feet. Being able to throw on the run in the boxing ring is very important. Right here we see a little back and forth going on. I still think Davarrio is too tall. You know what I mean? Daryl was landing some of these shots. Davarrio didn't really show any defensive movement. He kind of just kept his hands up, leaned back from time to time. But now he's doing what he should have been done. Got up off of those ropes, man. Chris Colbert. Chris Colbert is a dude that took a lot of damage in his fights against Rayo Valenzuela. And then in his fight where he tried to come back. I forgot the guy he's fighting, but he just posted up against those ropes, took a bunch of punishment, took a bunch of big shots. So on the ropes, you still want to make a defensive move. You don't want to just stand there and take punishment. That rope-a-dope that Ali did, that's not the best boxing tactic. Quadruple jabs, we saw that. And you saw a nice little bolo feint by Davarrio before he came in with the combinations. Then he jumped in with a gazelle jab. Now he's moving back with small steps, touch jabs, trying to find a range with the opponent. Daryl coming back in, walking him down. Davarrio taking one step, getting off of those ropes. That's the best thing to do, really. Unless you know how to defend yourself on the ropes or you're setting up a counter, it's best to just go ahead and get off those ropes, man. That was a nice little hook going way upstairs by Davarrio. Davarrio had to fix the headgear. Now he's throwing punches with that guard up. This is what I don't like. You know what I mean? Going to the ropes with no defensive move, allowing yourself to be battered. Maybe Davarrio is tired, or maybe this is just, the tough guy routine. Ali used to do this. It was his tough guy routine to condition himself to take big shots in the fight. But I recommend not allowing your organs to get beat up in sparring or in the fight. You know what I mean? Of course, you're going to get hit. It's boxing, but you want to minimize that as much as possible. Side-to-side movement by Davarrio. This guy's a muscular dude, but he has those twinkle toes. He's very light on his feet. I like that. As soon as Daryl touched his guard, Davarrio came back with the straight right counter. The only thing about Davarrio, he doesn't sit down on any of his shots. They're all fast, touchy-like shots, and he brings them right back. The punches don't really return to his chin. They return closer to his midsection. But this dude is a natural outboxer, man. Natural outboxer. If Davarrio were to go pro, I would tell him, look, man, you got to sit down on shots. Judges don't like the pity pat stuff. You know what I mean? You got to land that hard stuff. Or if you're going to be a pity patter, then you got to throw a lot of flurries to get the crowd into it. So you got to know what you're working with. See that? I like how he has that in and out bounce to his game as well. Daryl took an angle just now. Davarrio dipped up under Daryl. Daryl didn't even see him. Daryl had to turn all the way around to see him. That was a very sneaky defensive maneuver by Davarrio. Alrighty. Yeah, so this is good work by both guys, man. I think we're coming near the end of this sparring session. Y'all let Davarrio know what he did well. Y'all let him know what he has to work on. I already said pretty much what I think he should work on, and I said what he did well. This dude is very athletic, and he pretty much seems to be a natural, man. You got to sit down on those shots, though. Work on the inside game. Don't run from the inside game. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Davarrio is one of the first people to cash at me to break down his sparring on my YouTube channel. It was just $10. He hit $ KJITV1. All the letters are lowercase. And then what he did was he shared the video with me on Google Drive. He shared it with my email, KJITV, all that is lowercase, 0@gmail.com. If you would like to do the same process, you could DM me on TikTok or just email me with the footage and make sure you send me that $10 cash up. Tell me the name of you and the opponent that you're sparring or fighting, and let's get this show on the road. Thank you. Make sure you go follow the brother Davarrio Johnson on Facebook. He's a professional fighter. He's a dude that was featured in this sparring. As you can see, the brother is cut up like a bag of dope, man.